My name is Charlie, and I've helped over 150 people win their PIP claims, and I received PIP myself. I'm getting questions about review forms. Are there different types of review forms out there? Yes, there are two types of review forms. So it doesn't matter which one you get, you're going to be okay. I'm going to tell you about the forms, and I'm going to tell you what videos to watch that will help you with your review forms. And they are good videos. Okay, so stick with me. Right, let's look at the old review form. This is the old review form. Okay, literally split into 3 sections. What has changed and approximately when, how you manage the activity now, and any changes to help you need or the help you get. Now, this is actually my form, right? So you see where I put no change? In the past, I recommended if there's no change, just write no change. But do not recommend that now, okay? With everything that's gone on with the fucking Conservatives and the Labours targeting the disabled community, what I want you to do is reiterate what your life is like, okay? Don't just put no change, or you can put no change, but then how you manage it, I want you to reiterate, linking to the points, okay? So let's look at the new form. So the new form looks like this. I'm going to show you in a minute some videos to click onto that will help you with this layout, okay? Now, I'm fine with both layouts. I find that this one helps you cut the crap more, because on the claim form, in England, they give us this whole A4 piece of paper and people put so much crap in it that is not relevant. I think that they are now following the Scottish way to do it. In England and Wales, we've got PIP. In Scotland, they've got ADP, Adult Disability Payment, right? I think the ADP booklet is actually better. I thought they were fairer in Scotland, but I think it's the way the booklet's designed. In England, the claim form is 44 pages. In Scotland is a booklet and it's like 130 pages, but they help you focus on the right area that links to the points. I think this is the new review form, and England and Wales have learned from Scotland's approach. Okay, now look at how much space you've been given. So you might be like, it's not enough, it's enough space. That really hurt my jaw joints, but I meant it. It's enough space. You don't need more space. I've spoken. I've worked with many clients on the new review form. We can fit it in. It's enough space. Right. Any of the activities that involve using an aid have this layout. Do you need an aid? Right. Do you need to use an aid for this activity, preparing food? Yes or no? If no, skip this bit. If yes, what aid do you use and how often? Because remember, scar the line. Are we safe? Are we consistent? Are we reliable? Are you getting sick of me saying that? Are you getting sick of me saying to you, what's your average? You need to work out your average. You need to know your averages. Okay? If you go into the kitchen and you have to sit in a seat all the time, that's really nice and simple, isn't it? You need to know your averages. For the whole of PIP, doesn't matter what stage you're at. I know we're doing review forms, but you need it for all of them, okay? You can see they are linking to the points. Actually, let's just open the points. So don't forget, these are the government points. This is what they're assessing you on. Straight away, they're clarifying, are you B? Do you score 2 points? Right? Straight away, they're in there. Exactly like what I do, cut the crap. Are you entitled to this? Just to clarify, I think there's a bit of confusion where some people think, well, if I use an aid, I will get the points for it. Not necessarily, because they will cross-check you using an aid, then they will check your medical evidence to see if your condition or conditions justify you using that aid. Okay, so don't think, oh, well, I'm not saying you would do this. If I buy this aid, then they've got to give me the points. No, it doesn't work like that. And then aid, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going into it, but it doesn't need to be a posh aid brought in a disability shop. Okay, it's if it's something that helps you that you use. It could be an old bar stool, right? It doesn't need to be posh. If it's something you use to help you manage the daily activities, that's what counts as an aid. Okay, you've got enough space there. That's it. What aids do you use and how often? That's plenty of space. Then we've got, do you need prompting? Yes or no? So they've skipped the bit about the microwave, but they're straight on to D. Do you need prompting? Is this what your life is? If yes, What does that person do for you and how often? Nice and clear who it is. If you've got a few people, just pick the main one because you can explain it on the assessment. If you've got one person on the assessment, they're going to say to you, what if that person's not there? Okay, so just pick the main person, keep it simple. This, do you need help from another person? Because we're on preparing food, this could be that someone's doing your meals for you. Okay, this could be that you've got ADHD galore and you keep wandering off and leaving the gas on, right? So, do you need help from another person? What do they do? How often? Back to the averages, okay? Now, this, I hate this. Please tell us why and when these needs began. That is not in any of the Scottish versions, right? I hate it. I hate it. And I bitch about it with every client I work with on a review when they've got the new review form. Because who the fuck of us sits there and goes, okay, it was the 15th of July, 2018 that I started to use chunky cutlery. Who the fuck? Like, I know chunky cutlery is eating and not preparing food, but that was what popped into my head. None of us will sit there and record a date. So what I've been doing is I've been keeping it simple. So sometimes we put when the condition was diagnosed. Sometimes I'll sit with a client and be like, do you sort of remember approximately when that it got to that point? And we'll put an approximate, okay, just put and a year. I'm not talking a month, I'm talking a year. We'll put an approximate. I think just do that. So say for example, for me, so when I had my review, I had the old form. If they said to me, how long have you been using chunky calorie? So I got sick when I was 29. I'm now 48. I got diagnosed when I was 30. My whole 30s were shit. When did I start using chunky calorie? The thing, right, I was stubborn as fuck. I thought if I used aids like a Zimmer frame, like chunky cutlery, it meant that I was giving in, right? And if you think that, oh my God, I promise it's not the right approach. My life changed when I started using the aids, and then I was able to do more because I was adapting and using equipment that's available to make my life easier, right? So if you're thinking I'm not giving in, please try and change that. Having a Zimmer frame changed my life for the better. Once I got over that block and then the emotional thing of walking with one, it changed my life in a positive way. I wish I'd done it earlier. So I know in my 30s, I was so stubborn and I didn't want to give in. So I don't think it was then. But I can't tell you. Like, so I would have to say like approximate five. So I'm 48 now. So I think it's probably been like over 5 years. So I'd put like, I think over 5 years. So I'd put psoriatic. Fuck, what was the question? Stupid question. Tell us why and when these needs began. Why? Psoriatic arthritis. Put the condition that is the reason why you're having issues. Okay. So in some of you, if you've got multiple conditions, some of your answers, it might be, for example, it could be arthritis. And then in mixing with people, it could be anxiety. Put the condition that's the cause, right? So I would put psoriatic arthritis, reason why, hand pain for chunky cutlery. Why? When did these begin? 5 years, about 5 years plus. So psoriatic arthritis, hand pain, about 5 years plus. Just keep it that simple. Keep it that simple. Don't go into too much detail on there. And I've not had any issues with any clients on reviews using that format. And I think they must be getting a mix of everything. And for some people, some of you, you might have been experiencing the condition for years before you were diagnosed. So sometimes with clients, we'll put, say they were diagnosed 5 years ago, we'll put 10 years plus. So that's how long it's been impacting them. We'll just be honest. So it's just shit. It's shit, that one. Do the best that you can with it. And remember, this is the way I'm thinking about it, is that isn't points. How long it's been happening isn't points. I get why they want to know, right? What they're trying to do is trying to figure out, has something changed since your last assessment? Because this is a review, okay? You've done the hard work, you're on the PIP ladder, right? What they really want to know, and I wish they'd worded it a bit differently, is, has this changed since your last review? That would have been a lot easier, yes or no? No, but some knobhead has come up with this question, and it's just gonna, all that question is gonna do is stress us the fuck out, because we don't keep records of when we start using aids. Okay. I think for a lot of us, unless someone's in a severe accident or has a stroke, some significant event, for a lot of us, it happens over a period of time. We sort of decline over, and you adapt, and then it becomes your norm. And we block because we don't want to be like this. It's a stupid fucking question. Um, I didn't, when I started filming this, I didn't plan on venting. I didn't plan on this venting thing, but I think we're just going to try and move on. See, I've totally distracted myself venting about that question. And if you do book me for, by the way, in the description, you can get a free newsletter that comes out every week unless the body shuts down completely. There's a website, there's free templates, there is access to book me. And if you do book me, I am sorry. If you've watched this and we get to that question and you've got the new review form, I'll probably vent all over again. So just prepare yourself. And I will forget that I've said this here because I've got brain fog. Okay, so let's just check that form again. That's the end of it. Now, literally all the activities on the new form look like this. Let's just check. Eating and drinking, exactly the same. Using an aid, prompting, help from another person. When did these begin and why? Managing treatment. Using an aid, prompting, help from another person, when and why. Washing and bathing, really straightforward. Using an aid, prompting, help from another person, when and why. Toileting, again, the same format. By the way, it does change, that's why I'm going through it. Using an aid, prompting, help from another person, when and why. Dressing and undressing is the same format. Do you use an aid? You need prompting, help from another person, when and why. Speaking and hearing, so communicating, is, do you need an aid? Do you need support? So someone with you to help the communication. Help from another person, which kind of feels like there's someone there. It's the same thing. When and why. So a little bit different on that one. For this, refer to the points to help yourself be clear, okay? Reading, we've gone back to the same format. Do you use an aid? Do you need prompting? Help from another person? When and why? Now it's changed. Do you need help from another person? Okay. Reminding, so prompting, encouraging, explaining. So this is when you're with other people. What do they do for you? How often do they need to be with you and help you at some other time? So this is, if you need someone with you when you go out, or you need someone to really encourage you to mix with other people. And so, for example, you suffer from anxiety, or if you have them with you, what is it that, why do you feel safe with them? Why is it they're able to explain things to you, or to soothe you? That's what this bit's about, okay? Who is that person? Now, like I said before, if it's a couple of different people, just pick the main person because they'll ask you on the assessment, okay? It's up to you. I tend to pick one person, but it's up to you. Don't list the whole thing. What would you do if these people are not there? Keep it simple. For a lot of you that score in this category, if that person's not there, you're not mixing with people. If that's the case, just say that. Just say the truth. Now, this bit, support such as therapy, counselling that helps you mix with people. If you suffer from depression, anxiety, PTSD, CPTSD, what they want to see is, are you doing something to help yourself? Now, a lot of people are going to hate me saying that, and DWP have never said that. I can see a big difference in cases where people are really trying to help themselves. So if you have been on the same level of medication for a while and you think, well, there's no point in going to the doctors because it doesn't make a difference, you need to get your ass to the doctors, okay? The GPs, they have to follow a certain procedure. So a lot of you with fitting in the mental health category will need treatment, okay? Now, it's been scientifically proven that talking to the right professional, the right level of professional, is as effective as medication. Now, personally, I'm not a medical professional. I believe that sometimes there are cases where meds are needed. Meds, it's so severe, or it's been ongoing for so long. We need a combination of both. You need a combination of both, right? So the GPs can't just send you to a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are specialists. Psychiatrists can prescribe different medications than GPs can. Psychiatrists will make it unique to you. GPs, general practitioners, will give you the general medication that seems to do the best for the most people. They're a great starting point, but if you think you score in mixing with people because of severe depression, severe anxiety, PTSD, CPTSD, you need a professional. You need you need a specialist. Okay. So to get to the specialist, if you're going through the NHS, the GP, depending on the severity, the GPs have to follow procedure. So they might have to send you to CBT first. They might have to send you to talk therapies first, because they've got to tick those boxes to then go, actually, this hasn't been effective. Now we can go to the next level. They have to follow procedure. Okay. So if you're and I work with people where I explain that to them, and these are people that have experienced significant trauma. Having a chat about trying to think positively with an individual that doesn't have much life experience, that is basically following a set process that they need to get through in that meeting, is not going to cut it. Okay. But they have to go through that to get to the right level of specialist. Okay. And I have experienced it where the individuals doing the talk therapy and the CBT have then contacted the GP and gone, this person, this is not enough for this person. And then we've got that in writing and used it in PIP because it was a dog's bollocks as far as I was concerned. So I need you to remember, you are worth fighting for. You are entitled to a reasonable quality of life. I know I've kind of veered off here, but I actually love the way this form is. I love this bit of the form because I speak to there's so many people that have given up on treatment, and there's also a lack of understanding that when you go to the GP, if you're suffering from depression and anxiety and they start you on medication, they'll start you on a load-in dose. So many people that I've spoken to in the past, and I'm sure I will in the future, will go, well, it doesn't work. And I'm like, what are you on? What dose is it? And I'm like, that's okay. That's like the introduction level. Did you tell your GP that you didn't think it was working? Well, no. And I'm like, right, you can get that medication needs to be increased. You've got to find what works for you. So but I just need you to fight for yourself. You need to fight for yourself to obviously get PIP, and you need to fight for yourself to improve your quality of life. That then reflects in your PIP form. Okay? So please listen to me on this, okay? And when I work with clients, this is the main thing. Yes, PIP is important, but PIP adds to your quality of life. That's the goal. My goal is always improving quality of life. Only you can do that. You have the power, not me. Let's go back to the form. So again, support. If you're linking with the mental health team, include that. If you're on the waiting list for CBT, talk therapies, access to a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever it is, put it in there. Okay. If you're not, that's okay. It's okay. It's better if you're going through the process, though, just being honest. Budgeting decisions, again, this is a bit different. So, do you need prompting? Do you need help from another person? So, what help do you need? They're trying to figure out if you need help with complex budgeting or basic. Basic is going to be for people that are autistic. Okay, that's pretty much it. Or like dementia, right? Complex is sorry, just an example of basic. Basic will be, here's 20 quid. Do you understand with that 20 quid that Can you afford to buy a sandwich, a drink, and some crisps? And do you understand what change you're going to get? That's basic. Okay. So pretty much the majority, well, pretty much all of you watching this are going to be able to do that. Okay, because the people that can't do that, it's usually the mums watching these videos. Okay. Mums seem to do the admin most of the time. Obviously some of the dads, but mainly mums. Complex will be figuring out your budget, like what's incoming, what's outgoing, what purchases have I got coming up, what do I need to set money aside for, are the direct debits set up? It's complex. Okay, this doesn't mean are you good with money. This is not what this means. Okay, please tell us when and why. The question I hate. We'll move on. Planning and following a journey. I do not like this. I do not like this. I did a video a while ago that when the whoever the fuck it was doing one of the government people doing a paper, I think they're going to make a change here, right? Because the way the points work, these questions don't link to the points, which really annoys me. So let's check the points first. I'm well into my finger pointing tonight, aren't I? Normally I don't really move the arms much. I've just sort of come to life, like about an hour ago. My body just came to life. My sleep. Do you ever get it where your sleep is so weird? Like it's actually 8:30 at night, but for my body thinks it's about 10 o'clock in the morning right now, because it my AM, which I do try to keep to AMs, sometimes my body shut down and it just shut down and I slept for, I don't know, like 17 hours or something. So it's not a choice, is it? We don't get a choice in this when our conditions take over. Anyways, go back. So planning a journey is prompted. Can't plan the route of a journey. So I say ignore C, because if you can use your phone, you can use Google Maps, then you can plan it, right? Now, so just forget about C, right? And for those people that can't plan, they generally score higher anyway. So just ignore C. Unfamiliar. If you had to go somewhere you've never been before, would you be able to go on your own in a taxi on your own with the taxi driver, or would someone have to go with you? That's what we need to know to confirm if you're D. Cannot undertake any journey because it's overwhelming psychological distress. Those are for people that are pretty much trapped in the house. Okay, if you're trapped in the house due to agoraphobia, severe PTSD, CPTSD, that's this category. So hopefully not many of you are E. F, cannot follow the route of a familiar journey. So this means you're not going anywhere alone. Anywhere alone. If on average you are going out 3 times a month on your own, you will not score in this category. Okay, this is for people that don't go anywhere alone. Now look at the questions and wait for it, because this is a bit mind-blowing. And I want you to make sure you cover the points in this, okay? Because I think they're trying to get out of giving people the funding here. And obviously, if you're entitled to it, only if you're entitled to it. If you're someone that's lazy as fuck and just wants money for doing nothing, and you are not chronically ill, get the fuck off my channel. This channel is for people that are truly suffering. So, needs prompting. Okay, fine. We get that one. Then look at this. Then we've got the dreaded question. But the only other question is, do you need help from another person? That's it. There is nothing in here about familiar, unfamiliar. They're trying to, I don't like it. So on this one, do you need help from another person? I want you to be really clear, okay? If you are able to go to familiar places, please say that. Because what also helps is when you clarify what you can do. They love that. So it makes it easier for them to categorize you, right? So if you can go to your local shop, say it. I can go to the local shop on my own. Brilliant. But if it's somewhere new, somewhere I don't know, I need someone to go with me, because this one I also don't like. So let's check the points. We've got over 200 meters, over 20 buses. Okay, fine, no problems, brilliant. 5 buses to 20 buses, 2 buses to 5 buses, either unaided or aided, and then can't do more than 2 buses, or need someone to literally physically move you. So they've dropped one off on the scoring, which is fine. Wait a minute, let me just triple check. Yeah, it's the 22 buses to 5 buses. So the 2 buses to 5 buses, they're not clarifying if that's aided or unaided, but that's fine, okay? Do you need to pause or stop when walking? Yes, no, for how long? Okay. Now, don't be thinking, Charlie, it varies. Averages, on average. Now, look, this bit really bothers me. Do you use a prescribed aid? So when this form came out, I had to do research and I was like, who prescribes an aid? Occupational therapy? Yes, I get that. Physios, I get that. And it also says GPs. Now, in my experience working with over 150 people, no one has ever been prescribed a walking stick by a GP, right? So I'm like, right. The fact that it says a prescribed aid, they much prefer it, or it puts you in a different category if occupational health have issued you an aid. Okay, now you can ask occupational health to visit you. I did it when I got my PIP because there was a bit in there that said about contacting them, so I thought brilliant. And they were really, really helpful and they gave me some aids that I didn't have. But I'd already brought some stuff, so they didn't need to. And they've got budgets. So they can't just give out the stuff willy-nilly because they have budgets. Most people have not had access to an occupational therapist or a physio. So on this one, let's have a look at it again. Do you use a prescribed aid? If you're using something that's not prescribed, I would still put it in, right? This is going to cause issues, and because of this, if you score points in this section, if you've already got points, that's great, you're on the ladder. If you haven't got points but you believe you are points, I would try and get access to occupational health, and they work for like the council, so I'd look into that. Okay, how many days you use an aid? Fine, right. Do you need assistance from another person to help you walk? That's new. And I would much rather have you leaning on a Zimmer frame than someone grabbing your arm. Okay, but obviously you need to put that in. When and why these began, the question I hate. Then we've got further information. You shouldn't be using this. You don't need it. Okay. What I would do is say you need to put your evidence in. So with every client I work with, whether it's a claim, a review, change of circumstance, which is a review, tribunal, which is a nightmare, mandatory reconsideration, we always do evidence documents. So I'm going to show you some videos to watch. Now, these videos aren't, some of them aren't specifically about reviews, but the information in these videos applies to reviews as well. Okay. So let's go to the channel. This PIP How to Win in 2025. This is my most viewed video, 423,000 views. Okay. Now, I understand when we go onto YouTube, you tend to look for the videos that got the most views. So this video is mainly about the points, and it gives examples of how to answer the questions. Okay, so it's still really good, really good. This video I did 2 months ago, and I have learned so much since I filmed the first video to now. This has only got, at the time of filming this, you can see just under 10,000 views. Because I think people are going to the most viewed video. This has got so much good stuff in it. Please, please watch it. Then, this evidence video, really important. You need to be creating your evidence document. Watch that video, it's really, really good. And follow it, please. This video is obviously about claims, okay? But, wait a minute. And obviously right, well, look at that. This is not the English and Welsh version of the PIP form. This is the ADP guide as well. So when I go through this, I go through the whole of PIP. Actually, let me come back to you. In that video, I go through whole of PIP, everything from preparing the food through to moving around, okay? And what I do is I take you through the English and Welsh form and the Scottish form. Now, the Scottish form is laid out really similar to this new review form, okay? Now, again, it doesn't matter whether it's a claim or a review, you've got to communicate your needs. You've got to communicate how your daily life is impacted. That video, I'm gutted, it's got less than 10k views. I'm sorry, Matilda's just gone into attack mode because I think the pigeon landed on the bit of the building. That, yeah, I'm gutted it's got less than 10k views because that video is fucking good. Like, if I do say so myself. Um, and sometimes, like, because of my brain fog, I record things and then I forget. And I was doing something the other day. I was working on the book because I'm writing a book, right? And I was working on the book and I watched some of my videos to see if I said any stuff that's fallen out of my head because obviously, when I get honest, brain fog, it happens. Oh my God, it's a good video. I forgot. I was like watching it quite objectively and it was really good. So even though you're doing a review and it's about the claim, I really recommend you watch it because you need knowledge is power. You need to be able to communicate your life clearly. Okay. You've got to protect your funding. Obviously, if you're entitled to it. Okay. If things have improved and you're no longer entitled to the points, brilliant. Let them know. Yeah, that I cannot tell you how good that video is. I know that, like, who wants to be watching these videos? Like, there's PIP is not a nice thing to do. Like when I do meetings with people, a lot of people don't sleep the night before because who looks forward to doing PIP stuff? Um, yeah, it sucks. So I'm really sorry, but I promise this funding is life changing. If you're entitled to it, protect it. Okay. You need to study a bit. And if you get really stuck, you know the links to the consultancy are below, but try and use all the free stuff.